What if you could rewire your brain every single morning? Not with coffee, not with motivation, but with pure energy, focus, and power that makes you unstoppable. Most people wake up reacting to problems, to notifications, to life. But what if you woke up creating your state before the world touched you? Imagine starting every day so charged that fear, doubt, and stress couldn't even reach you. This isn't magic. It's a habit, a ritual that top performers use to train their minds for success, clarity, and confidence. It takes less than 10 minutes, but it can shift your entire destiny. Because when you control your mind, your emotions, your energy, you control everything. So the real question is, tomorrow morning, will you wake up reacting to life, or will you prime yourself to dominate it? What if the reason your life feels stuck has nothing to do with your goals, and everything to do with the state you wake up in every morning? Think about it. You can have the perfect plan, the best strategy, all the resources in the world. But if your mind is in a low, frustrated, fearful state, you'll sabotage it all before you even start. Most people try to change their actions while their state is running on empty. That's like trying to win a race with no fuel in your tank. Here's the shocking truth. Your brain doesn't respond to what's happening around you. It responds to the state you're in while it's happening. The same situation can look like an obstacle or an opportunity depending on your emotional state. Ever noticed how when you're angry, even small things feel impossible, but when you're excited, you can solve problems that once looked massive? That's not luck, that's state control. If you learn to prime your state, to wake up and decide what energy, emotion, and focus you want to bring into your day, you stop being a victim of your emotions and start becoming the architect of your reality. It's not fake positivity, it's conscious power. When your body is alive, your breath is strong, and your focus is laser sharp, your brain releases chemicals that boost clarity, creativity, and drive. You don't need motivation, you become it. So before chasing strategies, ask yourself one question: what state am I in right now? Because your state is the gateway to your strength, your certainty, your brilliance. And once you learn to master it, everything else in life begins to shift automatically. What if the reason you wake up tired, anxious, or unmotivated isn't because you're lazy, but because the world hijacks your brain before you even take your first breath of focus? Think about it. The moment most people open their eyes, they grab their phone. Boom. Messages, notifications, problems, chaos. Before their feet hit the floor, their mind is already reacting. They're not living the day is living them. Every beep, every scroll, every tiny piece of bad news wires your brain to survive instead of succeed. You start your morning defending why? Ourself from the world, instead of designing it. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Your emotional energy is your most valuable currency. The world will drain it unless you protect it first. Priming is how you take control. Before the noise, before the demands, before the opinions, you step into silence and decide the energy you'll live in. You breathe, move, feel gratitude, visualize power, and in minutes, your entire physiology transforms. Your brain floods with dopamine and serotonin, the chemistry of focus and strength. You're no longer reacting to life, you're commanding it. Most people think success comes from working harder. No, it starts with feeling better first. When your mind is calm, your energy is high, and your focus is intentional, you make sharper decisions, handle stress like a weapon, and attract opportunities that match your vibration. You're no longer chasing success, you're drawing it in. The world still throws punches, but you're already armored in purpose. Control your energy before the world controls you, and watch how fast everything around you starts aligning with the power you built within. What if your entire life was being controlled by something as invisible as your focus? Not luck, not talent, not destiny, just where your mind decides to look. Most people think they see the world as it is, but they don't. They see the world as they focus on it. Two people can live the same day. One feels blessed, the other feels cursed, because one focused on what's missing and the other focused on what's working. That's the power of focus. It's the steering wheel of your emotions, and your emotions shape your actions. Your brain is like a radar system searching for what you tell it to find. Focus on fear, and you'll find every reason to doubt yourself. Focus on strength, and suddenly you see solutions that were invisible before. It's not magic, it's neurology. Your thoughts fire chemicals that literally change the way your body feels and performs. When you focus on gratitude, your brain releases serotonin, lowering stress and sharpening clarity. But when you focus on problems, cortisol floods your system and shuts down creativity. Here's the scary part. Most people never choose their focus. It's programmed by what they scroll, what they watch, and who they listen to. They hand over the remote control of their emotions to the world and then wonder why they feel powerless. But the moment you take that control back, your entire life begins to shift, because when you focus on what you can control, your brain activates strength. When you focus on possibilities, your brain starts hunting for opportunities. Change your focus and your feelings change. Change your feelings and your actions change. And once your actions change, your entire destiny starts to follow. What if the secret to changing your mind has nothing to do with your thoughts, but everything to do with your body? Most people try to think their way out of stress, anxiety, or fear. But here's the truth. You can't think your way into a powerful state. You have to move your way into it. Your body is the remote control of your emotions. Every time you slump, breathe shallow, or move slowly, your brain gets the message, I'm tired, I'm weak, I'm done. But the second you change your physiology, stand tall, breathe deep, move with intensity, your brain fires up new signals of confidence, energy, and control. Science proves it. Motion changes emotion. When you change your posture, your hormones shift. When you breathe with power, your nervous system calms. That's why athletes scream before a big game, why warriors beat their chests before battle, why a smile can actually lift your mood. Your body language is the access key to your psychology. Yet most people walk around trapped in their own chemistry, unaware that they can flip the switch anytime. They wait to feel good before they move, not knowing that movement is what creates the fee. The shocking truth is your brain listens to your body more than your words. You can tell yourself, I'm strong, but if your shoulders are slumped and your breathing is weak, your brain doesn't believe it. But stand like a fighter, breathe like a champion, and your nervous system instantly changes your state. You don't need motivation when your physiology is firing. It becomes impossible not to feel powerful. Because when you master your movement, you master your mind. And when you master your mind, the world starts responding to the energy you radiate. What if your brain couldn't tell the difference between imagination and reality? Sounds crazy, right? But neuroscience proves it. When you vividly visualize something with emotion, your brain fires the same neural pathways as if you were actually doing it. That means every time you imagine success, confidence, or victory with intensity, your mind starts wiring itself to make it real. The problem is, most people do the opposite. They visualize failure, rejection, worst-case scenarios, and then wonder why their life feels like a rerun of anxiety and doubt. Brain is always listening, always rehearsing the story you feed it. Here's the shocking part. You're already visualizing every day. You just don't realize it. When you worry, you're running a mental movie of what you don't want. When you dream without belief, you're telling your brain those goals are fantasies. But when you visualize with power, see it, feel it, breathe it, your subconscious mind starts accepting it as truth. That's when the shift happens. Your actions align, your confidence rises, your awareness sharpens. Opportunities that were invisible before suddenly stand out because your brain has been trained to look for them. The secret isn't just to picture your goals. It's to feel them. Feel the excitement of achieving it, the pride, the gratitude, as if it's already yours. That emotion is the electricity that programs the mind. Do T is daily and your brain starts building new habits, new beliefs, and a new identity. You begin to walk, talk, and decide like the person you visualized. That's not wishful thinking. That's neural conditioning. When you control the movie in your mind, your reality has no choice but to catch up. What if the difference between who you are and who you want to be comes down to what you repeat every single day? People talk about motivation like it's some magical spark, but sparks die without fuel, and that fuel is consistency. Doing something once makes you feel inspired. Doing it daily makes it a part of who you are. The truth is, your brain doesn't care about what you do sometimes. It believes what you do consistently. Every repetition is a vote for your identity. If you wake up and prime your mind for gratitude, focus, and strength every morning, you're literally rewiring your brain to operate from power instead of fear. Here's the shocking reality. Habits don't just change your schedule. They change your sense of self. When you repeatedly choose discipline over comfort, your brain starts labeling you as someone who follows through. When you consistently visualize success, it stops feeling like a dream and starts feeling like a standard. That's why people who commit to daily rituals of mindset and focus don't just perform better, they become better. Their nervous system, emotions, and energy adapt to that higher level because consistency tells the brain, this is who I am now. Most people quit because they don't see instant results. But transformation isn't about what you see. It's about what's being built inside you, the wiring, the confidence, the identity. The person who shows up every day, even when no one's watching, becomes unstoppable. Consistency is more than a habit. It's self-respect in action. When you honor your rituals reshape you. Over time, the daily act of priming doesn't just prepare your mind, it becomes proof that you all are. Edie stepped into the strongest version of yourself. What if everything you've ever wanted, the focus, the confidence, the power, the peace, was never outside of you but waiting inside, buried under the noise of daily life? Priming isn't just a morning ritual, it's the moment you reclaim your mind before the world steals it. It's how you train your brain to live in gratitude instead of stress, in strength instead of fear, in creation instead of reaction. Because when you control your state, you control your story, and when you control your story, you control your destiny. Every day you have a choice. Let the world decide how you feel, or prime your mind and decide how the world will feel to you. That choice, repeated over time, builds a life of power, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. So tomorrow morning, don't wake up to the noise. Wake up to your own power. Take a deep breath, move your body, focus your mind, and step into the energy of the person you're meant to be. You've got this. The version of you that you've been chasing is already inside you, waiting for you to start. So go out there, live in your highest state, and create a life that feels alive every single day.